Hello, one and all. My name is John Clare. This is
Roman Trish.
and this is Post Watch Post Mortem. And today's film we're going to be talking about is the 2006 Hugo Weaving and Natalie Portman starring V for Vendetta, based on the Alan Moore comic book, which I have read, but not for about 20 bloody years. So my memory of it is very foggy. So I'm not going to be going too close to the original source material and my references. Although I did kind of, because like we had to have a little bit of a break between recording the podcast and watching the film. So I did watch a couple of videos about it on YouTube, but I don't really want to be stretching too far into the original source material because my memory is a little bit foggy on it.
And is it like is it like fiddle to the? Do you remember if it's fiddle to the is it faithful to the adaptation?
I mean, like
the original
thing is, like, I mean, I'm going to refer to, because I watched the video that you sent me while you were out, which was a video by a YouTube channel called Wisecrack.
Yeah.
It was called Deep or Dumb, whether or not V for Vendetta is as deep as it may or may not think it is. It says pretty deep. They thought it was pretty deep, but they did refer back to the original source material and how Alan Moore, who is renowned for being quite a grumpy old bastard, but he's also a brilliant writer. And he gets really annoyed when people don't take his work seriously. The reason for that initially was, I mean, everyone thinks a lot of people assume that it's due to the interpretation of Watchmen by Zack Snyder in 2009. Actually, no, believe it or not. It's from a much earlier film, a 20th Century Fox film, The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Oh, I remember that movie.
Yeah,
I used to like that movie a little bit. It was silly. I was a kid.
But I've read the original source material. The original source material is so much better.
Of course, like the movie is a bit like of a I don't know what's happened. I think it was the do you know, like Sean Connery was supposed to do the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
He declined because he was doing that the Fantastic Gentleman. What's it called?
The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yeah, the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. He basically said no to the Lord of the Ring franchise and play Gandalf. To do that.
No, that was a bad mistake.
It was a bad mistake
because that film is dog shit. I'm sorry, it is rubbish. It's very
for
bad.
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery was right, but not only that, they butchered it. They brought in Dorian Gray, who's not in the original source material. They brought in Tom Sawyer because they wanted to appeal to the American market.
So you have Tom Sawyer.
Yeah, exactly. So it really doesn't work. It's absolute dog shit. But the original comic book is really cool. I mean, like, not only that, it's like logical. I mean, from what I remember, again, like, it's been a long time since I read it. But what I love about when I was reading it is like how Mina Harker, she's a vampire in it, and she's kind of their de facto leader. You've got
she's not the leader.
She is in the comic books.
In the comic books. Okay, sorry.
She's in the comic books. The original.
She's not going to be the leader in the American
Tom
Sawyer is the leader.
No, it's Alan. Well, Alan. It's kind of a toss up between Alan Quatermain and Mina Harker. But you've also got Mr. Jekyll and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Yeah.
It's a really cool comic book series, and not only that, you got Campion Bond is the leader of the British Civil Service. It's
Bond.
Yeah,
it's Bond.
Campion Bond.
It was basically comic books with all the references to fantastic.
Basically, it was like the Avengers, but for like 18th century kind of 18th century novels.
Yeah.
And it was cool. It was really cool. I definitely recommend reading the original comic books. I mean, Alan Moore's a brilliant writer, and I've read some of his stuff, and I really do love him.
Is he the guy with the crazy beard and crazy
beard, crazy hair? He's an anarchist. He's also.
I like that guy.
He's also a warlock. I've read his book on storytelling. It's fascinating. He's a really interesting dude. With a really unique viewpoint, and
a colourful character.
But also, what I love about him is like he's a dedicated comic book writer, and the way he sees the world is that, he's a comic book writer.
Okay.
And
it's not a one roll novel or stuff like that.
No, but the thing is, I mean, if you read, say for instance, you read Watchmen, like there's always in between each of the episodes, like you either got the Tales of the Dark Freighter comic book series, which is like an in universe comic book where they don't do superhero comics, they're pirate comics. So you got the Tales of the Dark Freighters, and you've also got like the little kind of like there'll be like case files on Rorschach, and there'll be like newspaper reports on the original Watchmen and all this kind of stuff. There's really kind of deep,
dense.
Yeah, really dense in the lore in there. And so if you love like lore and like deep lore in your storytelling, you can't get any better than Watchmen. Watchmen's fantastic. But the thing is, but Alan Moore is a seminal writer. Like he's up there with he's not even up there with the greats. He's one of the greats. He's basically like on the Mount Rushmore of comic book writers. And he firmly believes that in the medium of comic books, he sees, and I kind of agree with him in a lot of ways. When you talk about like adaptations, like whether it's Lord of the Rings, whether it's League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, whether it's V for Vendetta, the film we're eventually going to start talking about, or any of these things.
You lose a little bit.
Yeah, of course. I mean, something's going to get lost. I mean, like for instance, like if you're,
it's a different medium as well. Do you know, like it's a visual medium and.
I mean, like for instance, like a good example, right? You know the Game of Thrones series.
Yeah.
Right. Now, in the original books, which I have also read, each of the chapters is from the viewpoint of each of the characters. So, if Arya Stark, Jon Stark, Daenerys Targaryen, whoever it is, whoever's chapter it is, it's from their viewpoint.
Yes.
And they only know what's going on. It's what I was watching something about on YouTube yesterday, funny enough. Overly Sarcastic as a YouTube channel. They were doing something about unreliable narrators, but there's different types of narration in novels.
Yeah.
And one of them is like you got omniscient, which is basically like the guy the
guy who sees all and hear all. Basically.
Yeah, basically the writer.
That's God.
Yeah, he's the writer. The god. Yeah, you could say. I mean, was it Marvel comics? Like the gods are usually fucking like Stan Lee or one of them.
Yeah,
the comic book writers themselves. But
maybe something similar. The Watcher in the Marvel thing is
but above the Watcher is the one above all, and above the one above all is basically whoever's writing.
Yes.
So
which is it's fair.
Yeah, it's fair. It's class, man. You gotta love all the kind of self awareness. But Alan Moore, like I said, Alan Moore is in himself. He's a brilliant writer. His comic books are fantastic, and not only that, he created one of my favorite comic book characters of all time, and that's Constantine and the Hellblazer series. So my love for Alan Moore's storytelling is a love that springs eternal.
We're doing Constantine as well in our.
Yes, we are.
How are we calling that thing again? How do we call that?
I think it's like the non-Marvel DC comic. We'll worry. The title. We'll come up with the title by the time we get
comic book adaptation.
Yeah,
special
or something like that. I don't know. This is the conversation we can have off screen.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Sorry.
little view behind the curtain, so to speak.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of like V for Vendetta. Anyway, getting back to the original point
with Natalie Portman and.
Hugo Weaving. Also, one thing I did want to point out, actually, which is a bit of a tangent, but I love the fact that the really the
oppressive.
What was it? Sutler, the Chancellor, John Hurt. Do you know who he played as well? He played Winston in fucking 1984. So he was. If you watched.
I don't remember 1984.
Okay, I read the book. I haven't actually watched the movie, but I have read the book. But he plays Winston in 1984.
The one that's against the...
Yes!
Okay.
I love that. That's like a really clever little bit of casting.
The guy was... also, Hugo Weaving played the guy who was controlling the system as well in Matrix.
True. But also, you got to also bear in mind, this was written by the Wachowskis.
Oh, the Wachowskis?
Yeah, they actually wrote the script for it.
It's for that it's very Matrixy. Very...
Well, no, the director's James McTeague, but yeah, it was writers were Lily and Lana Wachowski and David Lloyd.
You see that with some of the scene, for example, at the end with the sword, like in the slow motion with the sword and stuff like that. It's very... Is it post-Matrix?
No, of course it's post-Matrix.
Post-Matrix, okay.
I mean, like, the fact that the creators of the Matrix are actively involved in the creation of this film is also, like, probably... Yeah, you're probably right. That there is a kind of, like, a slight Matrix influence on the... Very few. There's not that much in the way of action sequences. There's one or two.
No, there's one or two.
Yeah,
because one of the best scenes are not action. That's the thing. It's shown like I think the commercial side is shown as an action movie, and the best scene in the movie is not action.
Yeah, that's the funny thing though. Is that's how it was marketed. My usual bugbear about marketing departments.
But like the best scene in your movie is not the fight scene or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what scene I'm talking about?
You're talking about the Natalie
Portman scene. Yeah. Do you know she's like Natalie Portman? She's a bit weaker in the beginning, I think.
What, in terms of a performance or in terms of a character?
In terms of the character.
Well, yeah, the character that she plays, Evie. Right, the one thing I will also say, I've got to get this out of the way because I'm a Londoner.
Go for it.
Her London accent at the start of it is bloody awful, and it's not great. But is it? You made a very.
Is it not great or is it bloody awful?
It's bloody awful.
Bloody awful. Okay,
but
honest, as a foreigner, I was like a French,
Yeah,
it's no problem for me. Because I don't really make a difference between an American accent. What kind of accent? Where did she come from?
she's American.
Where?
I think in Los Angeles. I'm not sure.
Yeah, okay. But no, I don't see it. It didn't bother me. It's just acting at the beginning. I feel a bit like
well, I think, to be honest with you, though, when it comes down to performances, I think.
But later in the movie, she's perfect. She's just
let's just say because you made a very valid point after we watched the movie, right? And I actually agree with this in hindsight. You said that because the scene we're talking about is like about 2/3 of the way through the film.
Yeah.
Where
Natalie Portman is being captured.
Yeah, she's been captured. Go on, you tell it.
Natalie Portman is being captured and being tortured to reveal where is V, who is V, and where is V. And she's tortured and everything. She's being shaved. She's being washed with a kosher wash in a wall of a jail. It's like horrific, and you can see she really gives the emotion that what she's going through.
Absolutely.
She's frightened. She doesn't know what to do. She doesn't know where she is. You can see all the fear. Yeah. And all that scene where she's getting tortured and stuff like that, and she's reading this letter that was left by this what's the name of the
previous
Valerie,
yeah.
Valerie was a previous cell. She was in her cell previously.
Yeah, like
and
previous
died.
occupant.
And she wrote her memory on a piece of toilet paper.
A memoir, yeah.
A memoir on a piece of toilet paper. And all that scene with her transformation, and you discover that story of Valerie, who was a lesbian and tried to fight for a right to love the person that she loved.
Yeah.
And all that with the music, with her acting, with the thing, it's just perfect. It's one of the best in.
And not only that, because the whole thing kind of builds up to a crescendo. I mean,
and the crescendo at the end is actually it was all the stage,
Yeah.
It was all theater. Yeah. She would say she always listened to Shakespeare. She always loved theater, and that was the best act is because she didn't know she was in the play.
Yeah. And that's also you know what? There is a bit of a nitpick you can give here.
Can I say something?
What's V doing with the fucking cell?
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
Why he has a perfect reconstitution of a first cell that he was in in his apartment.
Why?
Or maybe it was just no, he built it.
He built it.
He built it.
It was definitely.
So he knew that he would have been needed some time.
Yeah, there's no.
It doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't make. It's there, but it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Is like what I say about picking holes. I mean, you don't necessarily. You might not necessarily notice it the first, maybe the second time.
It's second
but
time.
I've watched this film a few times.
It's like he has a room just for that, or maybe it was a room to torture other guys.
No,
it was just for her.
No. I think the whole purpose, because you got to bear in mind, the character of V was basically isolated, wasn't he? Really, it kind of comes out of nowhere.
It was an image. Nowhere. What do you mean by that?
Well, he literally comes. I mean,
he pops up in the street.
Yeah, he
just exists at some point in the story. At the 5th of November, at that time, it just exists.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Is I mean, you may have learned a little bit about it, because I know I've spoke to you about it in the past. Oh, by the way, does anyone like my Viva Vendetta t-shirt?
It's not on merch. We don't have any merch.
We don't do merch, but I just bought this t-shirt. And I thought it was cool, and I thought, we're talking about Viva Vendetta today, so I thought it'd be cool to wear it.
I used to own the mask. I used to have one.
I want to get one.
Yeah, I used to have one. I don't know when it's gone. It's probably.
I don't know. It's probably nicked by a hacker or something. But yeah, I think. But anyway, I thought we've got to try and structure this a little bit. Mm-hmm. All right.
So this is a future in England.
Basically, it's like an alternate version of London, because you got to bear in mind this film came out in 2006, but it mentions 2015. So obviously, this is set in the then future. I'd say of about 2020, 2025, maybe. So about now.
Yeah.
All right. So, but the synopsis of the film essentially is, right, Britain is under control of a totalitarian fascist government.
Catholic, hyper Catholic.
Well, not necessarily Catholic, but definitely Christian.
It's Christian,
Very, very, because it doesn't make allusions to what kind of sect of Christianity it is.
They are their own sect. They have the cross. They have their cross and everything.
Yeah.
Like even the emblem is like a double cross.
It's almost like it's kind of reminiscent. It's slightly reminiscent of the Orthodox cross. With it, like it's the cross with a slight line.
Also, he has like every time he has a speech, he has a Bible, an old book next to him, or stuff like that. There's like the priest and the priesthood have a very important place into the politics as well. So it's God prevailed, God saved.
Unity through strength, strength through unity. Was it no? Strength through unity, unity through faith.
So it's a complete fascist regime in the future of England, and like the way they went to power was there was a terrorist attack.
Yeah,
it was a chemical attack on the school, in the bus, in the water plant. Kind of thing. And there's like 80 million people died.
Yeah,
and because of that, they because of that fear of terrorism and stuff like that, these guys went to power because they were the only one offering like peace, basically.
Yeah, essentially, but the peace was through basically,
losing your right to do whatever you want, curfew and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like it was, it's a very kind of oppressive state that it's run by the political party is called Norse Fire.
Yeah, basically those people in the future give up their freedom for safety.
Yeah,
but the problem is the regime they ask to save them is the one they oppress them now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. I mean, and the Wisecrack documentary makes a good comparison to the original material, where they turn around and say that in the original comic book, it's about anarchism versus fascism, totalitarianism. Essentially, like anarchy is like a state without a government, essentially. But
V is not promoting a state without government.
Well, not in the film. On the film that we're talking about, like not really. No, and Wisecrack. Sorry, pardon me. The Wisecrack original the Wisecrack documentary, which I thought was quite good, says that in the original source material, it's about anarchy versus fascism, whereas in the film, like the bad guys are the bad guys.
And they're very bad.
They are very bad.
They're extremely bad.
Yeah, exactly. They're not very nice people.
I think the like you said, like the book is more anarchy versus
totalitarian.
Thank you.
No worries.
And I think this movie is more freedom against. It's more oppression. Like freedom against oppression. Like
Yeah, maybe. But
it's a bit lighter. It's a bit. It's about freedom.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, though, I mean, like you kind of got to understand the fact that again, when it comes to adaptations, like there is something going to be lost in that translation always. Like for instance, like you're taking the original source material. Now I've got the graphic novel, and it's a tome. It's pretty bloody thick.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a pretty dense story.
Yeah, it's a very dense story. Lots of characters. Like not only lots of characters, but they really go into detail about the people in the Norse Fire
so
party.
You see like the detective and all the politician. And so you see a little bit deeper in what they're
less cardboard cutout. They're more like people.
Yeah.
Right. And that's
with their quality and their
Yeah, I mean, like all their qualities, like they've got families and everything else. But you can't really do that in a 2-hour film, because this is why this is where book adaptations really fall down when it comes to the cinema a lot of the time, because you have to kind of like be very judicious about what you can and what you cannot put in.
Yeah.
Right. And also, like I said earlier on with Game of Thrones, like with Game of Thrones, they couldn't, the individual, yes, they can cut to different characters interacting with each other in different scenes, but you can't really get inside the head. I mean, like the one thing I've really find fascinating recently about reading Dune. I'm currently on God Emperor at the moment. But what I find really fascinating about it is, like, especially the first two books. I think the first two books so far from what I've read are the best two. That's Dune and Messiah. Mm-hmm. Right. Children of Dune, not too keen on, and I'm not very keen on Good Emperor. There's a lot of talking, just a lot of fucking talking, especially, and Leto's just insufferable, and Hui's even more so. But the thing is like but in the first couple of books, one thing I really liked about the first couple of books is, and I noticed it more in the second, when you know you had two opposing parties having a conversation. There's one really interesting scene where Jessica Jessica that who's Paul's mom in the, so if you watch the movie, like Paul's mom, like Timothy Chalamet's mom, that's Jessica, right? She has a conversation with the matriarch of the Bene Gesserits, and the thing is, like, they're talking to each other in kind of like, you know, like in pitter patter, but they're also talking to each other via their hands, like using subtle hand signals.
So there's like there's two conversations going on.
Exactly, and also like there's another conversation where Paul and the leader of the
Dothraki? No, sorry,
not the Dothrakis, you clown. What's the name of the fuckers? The guild, like the guild navigator. Right, the two of them have a conversation, and it keeps flicking. Not only does it report on what they're saying, but it also reports on what they're thinking.
Okay.
So there's certain things that you can do in books that you cannot do in a visual medium.
No.
There's certain things you can do in comic books that you cannot do in cinema.
Yeah.
Like you know, you can really flesh out. You can really go. Like
you can go deep.
You can go deeper. You're only limited by your imagination.
Yep.
You really are. Like, but the problem is the moment you put it onto a motion picture, right? Okay, these are a lot more expensive to put together. You've only got set, you know, a certain length of time to put. Usually, most cinema, most movies are 1.5 to 3 hours. Mm-hmm. You know, generally. So if you're taking a very dense source material and you need to strip out certain parts of it, then you've got to make sure you got the core. Do you know what I mean? And I think the film does. I mean, I've got to say the film does a really good job. I think I treat this V for Vendetta like, as much as I love Constantine and the original Hellblazer comic books, right? The Constantine movie, I don't really I treat that as its own thing.
It's a different.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's not John Constantine in the comic books.
It's the movie adaptation of John Constantine. It's really the adaptation.
Yeah, but even then, the characters are so completely fucking different.
It's different. There's the Constantine comic books, the blonde British,
cocky, wisecracking,
and there is
very dark.
The movie version, which is dark hair, Kenny Reeves,
more sardonic, a lot more drawn out,
a bit more depressing. It's not very funny. He's a bit silly. No, is it funny, John Constantine, in the comic books?
It's more sardonic. It's more kind of drawn. It's very. It's not as quick.
Sarcastic.
Yeah. Well, no, but I'd say, I don't know. I mean, there is some. The characters between the comic book and the movie are completely fucking. I like. It doesn't feel like it's an adaptation of Hellblazer. It's like Constantine and the Constantine and Hellblazer comic books and Constantine of the movie are two different characters as far as I'm concerned. But I enjoy both.
Yeah.
V for Vendetta. Like, okay, it's got a lot of the same characters. It takes a lot of the same. It takes the same premise.
The character is there.
Yeah,
character is the same character in the comic books.
I don't know. Again, my memory's kind of hazy. I'm only really going off what other people are saying, and I don't generally like doing that.
So you have flashing. You have like a good memory of it. But I love the character. The character of V for Vendetta, played by what's his name again?
Hugo Weaving.
It's great. I love it. His gesture is like and I love
his British accent is actually flawless.
Is American, Australian?
He's Australian.
There we go. So it's like his way of speaking. There's a bit of problem with the muffled sound. Sometimes I have to up the volume a little bit because it's
because the mask is a bit. I think they dubbed over it though.
They did.
I do think they did.
But they still they still have that muffled sound. It's just like lower than there's so much you can do without looking too silly.
Yeah,
so
and
but
also he's wearing a mask, so you kind of got.
Of course, he's a bit muffled when he's speaking, because he's talking through a mask, and like the thing is the character development of basically you see him once. And you don't really know him, just a guy with a mask with a very weird way of talking. Yeah. And then you go to his apartment. And you see the books, the books on books, the art that's like modern, like classic and thing, and and him like with this like pink little apron thing. They're like, it's just like making it more lively, more like somebody due to actually this scene kind of kind of lure us to somebody who's friendly, who is knowledgeable, who is wise, like.
Yeah.
But in reality, if you remove that scene, is like violent and is violent. Is the end justifying the means? Like it doesn't care to kill like cops or stuff like that. Like it doesn't care to kill to get his idea. Like
it's like when Evie turns around and says, "Are you going to kill more people?"
Yes. Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Do you want the? Do you want the like? Are you using me to get to those people? Do you want the lie or the truth? Like like just like I tell you like okay. If you want, I can lie to you. Or if you want, I can tell you the truth. It's like bluntly honest, cold. It's very cold sometimes. Just like it's violent. It's cold. It's calculate. Sometimes it's even more like sadistic a little bit when you play with the victim.
I think when there is definitely an element of sadism when he's and the end justify the means, because he's the torturing of Natalie Portman's character.
It's a monstrous thing to do. It's
fucking dark, mate.
It's just like water, like a thing like that. Yeah, he did that, and he didn't do like with the back of the spoon, like we say in French, like Is there a saying in English as well?
Like I don't know, spanked with a wooden spoon or something.
Yeah, but
like
going with the back of the spoon is like you're not going seriously. Like
right.
Like if you're eating with the back of the spoon, you're not doing that.
Okay.
So you're going with the back of the spoon, like it's like he's not. It's just like he's going full on, like throwing like have you seen that scene when she brought the food and the rat go and basically don't touch it?
Yeah,
even the rat doesn't want it.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think the character of V is very dark. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily he's a heroic character.
He's not.
But the thing is though, the one thing that I like about it is, and I've got to fucking commend both the studio. I mean, it's not often I make commendments to the studio, but the creative team and everyone else, they left the fucking mask on him.
Good.
Like, how often have you watched a Marvel movie and the mask just like magically through tech science magic shite, the mask just comes off Peter Parker's head? Because
what was the thing in the movie is the mask is as a part of myself that my bones and my bones and cheeks are a part of myself. It's basically part of his body. The mask is his body.
It's part of his identity.
Yes, of course. Because he don't have anything. He's like, I think at some point in the movie you discover that he has no eyes. He has like, is this the?
Well, it's not he has no eyes. They do describe it. They do say he looks out.
He does look like he doesn't have any eyes. Like
I mean, how else can you throw a knife and hit a fucking target if you can't see?
But like, it's basically much a superhuman as well.
Yeah. I mean,
he was like tested to be like the next generation of human or stuff like that. Or they were basically like Japan did in China, do like those camp when they were like I don't have too much knowledge to talk about that, but I know there was like scientific thing where they did atrocity to population, just test thing.
Well, the Japanese did that in the Second World War, basically. Yeah, they just basically
tested on the pregnant women, the radiation or flames or stuff like that. Like hot apples may affect like a pregnant lady or stuff like that. Like it's horrible things like that.
in the name of science.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think like he's basically superhuman. But not really superhuman. He's basically like elevated.
He's basically the result of basically the guy, the bad guy. What's the name of the bad guy again?
Sattler.
He's called the Chancellor.
Yeah.
And the Chancellor like tested, like it took all those Muslim, gays, communist, socialists, all the people that he didn't like.
Yeah.
And put it in camp. And instead of getting rid of them, he used them to do science on them, to do guinea pigs and stuff like that.
And not only that, but basically they tested for a virus, and they all got stupidly wealthy off it. But basically they released the virus out into the world, and they all invested in a company that had the cure for the virus.
Yes.
So they all got horribly wealthy off it. So
which is. We're never going to see that in real life, no?
No.
People like profiting on the disease and the diabetes and stuff like that. No,
that doesn't fucking happen at all, does it?
No.
Fucking a little what's his name? That fucking Shekeli cunt. Who fucking like who like was it toxoplasmosis?
Toxoplasmosis.
Yeah. But basically, there was a drug for that. It was basically available for like 30 cents, and he comes along and fucking like whacks it up to $750 per tablet.
Or to like
Cunt.
Penicillin in America.
Oh, don't. Well, penicillin will kill me because I'm allergic to it.
No, but not penicillin, but like the diabetes thing. What do you call it?
Oh, insulin.
Insulin.
Yeah.
Insulin in America. Basically, here they give it to you. In France, they give it to you because you need it.
Yeah.
In America, you need to pay like at least like a grand for that. You know?
Yeah. Well, it's the American healthcare system or
Care.
healthcare industry.
Yeah.
But the one thing is, like, I mean, I think that it does have quite. I think it has an interesting. I mean, in terms of the message of the film, I think it's really quite interesting. Because like me and you, like I think at the end of it, like I've watched the film a few times. I watched it when it came out in the cinema, right back in 2006. I've watched it a few times since then. Like I said, I read the book as a result of it, and I fucking like this movie.
I do like it too.
I do. I mean, right? Does it have its flaws? Yes, it does.
Does it have this goofiness sometimes?
Of course, it does.
That's good.
But I really like this film. I really do. And one of the things I like about it is that by the end, it's actually got quite a positive message.
It does have a great message.
You know what I mean? It's like, at the end of the day, what's the most... Right, you can kill a person, but you can't kill an idea. And I think the idea, the juxtaposition between an idea and a virus, they're both very contagious.
Yeah.
Right? So if the idea gets out there and enough people buy in, all of a sudden this works both for good and bad.
Of course, but that's what happened with basically V is using the same tactics that the other one did to rule England.
Yeah, but also he uses but at the same time, like the one thing I love about it is the reason why the mask never comes off is because you cannot kill an idea. And the mask represents an idea. A lot of the iconography is like, for instance, when he blows up the Old Bailey, which is like, which is basically the High Court of the UK.
It's where justice is being made. Like,
well, it's not just that. It's just it's the highest court in the UK. So, for instance, you hear in the UK, in the US, you got the US Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Like, if you go to, if you're taking it to the top of the legal system in the UK, you go to the Old Bailey.
Okay.
Right. So he blew up the Old Bailey at the start of the film
because he did say that the justice that the Old Bailey was given was not a right justice. It was like
it was basically like
it was corrupt.
Yeah, but basically the justice that the lady, I can't remember the name of the state. There is, I think she has a name, but lady, I think it's Lady Justice, where she holds a sword in one hand and the scales in the other.
The scale, yeah.
Yeah, the balance of justice. So she basically she represents like the court of the UK.
Yeah.
And and what it represents and the instruments that it uses to represent justice in the UK was corrupted by this government, the North Fire government, and so he blew it up. He wanted to tear that down, the
first thing he was tearing down.
Yeah, and then by the end, what does he do? He blows up the Houses of Parliament. He succeeds where Guy Fawkes failed.
Yeah, true.
Right, and in doing so, like, things with for those who don't know. Right, and I'll just kind of whistle past this quickly. Right, and on the 5th of November in 1605, Guy Fawkes, amongst a group of other people, like pro-Catholics in the UK, what they did was they put together the gunpowder plot. The gunpowder plot was essentially designed to kill James I and the Protestant hierarchy of Great Britain.
Just like destroy all the basket.
Yeah, exactly. But the only problem was they got found out, like, telling all the Catholics, or wink, wink, nudge, nudge, don't go to, whatever you do, stay away from the Houses of Parliament, which enabled them to get caught. So anyway, and in the film it shows Guy Fawkes getting hung. Oh, he didn't just get hung; he got hung, drawn, and quartered.
They got light on him.
In the movie, they went light on him. In real life, he was hung to within an inch of his life.
Okay.
Then he was put on.
So he was not killed, hanged.
He wasn't killed. He was killed till he was hung till he was nearly dead. Then he was drawn. So basically, they tied him to horses and dragged him up and down the fucking street. And then they quartered him, which that means is they tie you to a table and they fucking cut you up.
Okay.
While you're still alive.
Okay.
So he went through an abhorrent
But where did this celebration come from? As a foreigner, I don't know.
Well, basically, I mean, obviously,
what do you celebrate? What do you celebrate about?
well,
in England?
basically, I think initially, because like you got, because there's two things. Like everyone thinks about Guy Fawkes' fireworks. Yeah, it is fireworks more recently. But we used to have bonfires, right? So what they'll do is they'll put together, like, you get a load of flammable material, you pie it all up, and you put a guy on top of it.
Yeah.
Right. So, and the kids will go around, penny for the guy, penny for the guy, penny for the guy. Yeah. So they, the kids go around, they get a little bit of money, and they use it to, buy a guy to put on top of the bonfire, and they set the bonfire alight. So that's how it really got started. But it kind of became a lot more commercialized in more recent years. But the thing is, the idea behind it was that he stood up against the system, and like him, he kind of represents an ideal of standing up against the system and fighting against.
And
the
this
system.
is a national holiday now.
Well, it's not really a national holiday. It's a national day, and everyone celebrates it. It's great. Basically, you go out, you watch fireworks, you eat
Like
fucking.
basically, the fireworks represent the explosion that the parliament didn't happen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, gunpowder.
And you celebrate that in your own country. Nobody said anything.
Well, yeah, it's good crack, man.
I know it's good crack, but like, do you know, if I was like if I was like if I was like part of a government or like an elite or stuff like that, and with a bit of oppression kind of thing, I wouldn't
Yeah, but isn't it like the same as like celebrating Bastille Day? I mean, how many people got fucking murdered?
No, because Bastille Day is is basically the end of monarchy and the debut of democracy.
Yeah, but
Which is not true actually. Like everybody thinks it's the beginning of democracy, but like after the 14th of July, we put another king right back instead. Like it's just like it was the proof that the people. Oh, you're right actually.
Yeah.
It was a proof that
it's a failed revolution.
It was a proof that the people should be afraid of the government, but the government should be afraid of the people.
Yeah, I mean that's what he said.
But yours didn't. It was kaput.
Well, yeah, it was killed in the crib. It was killed.
It could have been. It could have been your 14th of July. The 5th of November could have been your 14th of July.
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, like, to be honest with you, like, I don't really kind of look too deeply into it. I just think it's a fascinating story.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool.
And the fact that this was then the basis of like V for Vendetta, I love that. And
but like, is he today? This guy. What's the name of the
Guy Fawkes?
Guy Fawkes. Is he seeing good or is he seeing bad nowadays?
I don't know.
Is he seen as a hero or is he seen as a villain?
I don't know. I don't think he's seriously seen as a villain. I mean, like for me, I'm again. I mean, you say your country. I mean, I'm not Irish. I'm not English. I'm just confused. My parents are Irish. We live in Ireland. My mom's from around here.
What are you confused?
Exactly. I'm confused. Do you know what I mean? So, like, don't get me wrong. I mean, I've got a very thick London accent. I was brought up in the UK, and then, I've adopted a lot of cultural things from there. Of course, I do. That can't be helped. But yeah, Guy Fawkes used to be a big thing. We used to go out on Guy Fawkes night.
Okay.
But
like the thing is, like
bonfire
everybody
night.
would go.
Yeah.
It's the thing is that's the thing. It just baffles me. Is like it's.
Mate, you want to see the fucking fire? I mean,
I know. Sure, there is. It's
like,
great.
Because like, what we used to do is like where I grew up. Right, I used to grow up in an area called Walthamstow in North East London, and the town hall. Right, it's actually quite a cool town hall. Right,
Okay.
it's kind of like this Art Deco town hall. It's actually quite class. And we used to, but what they used to do is like again every 5th of November.
But there's no statues of that man. There's no physical representation of that man.
No, not that I know of. I don't think there's any statues or anything like that. But the legend's just kind of taken on over the last 400
It's just a legend. The guy is just a legend.
Well, no, it's like with anything else. Like I don't know, like you could say stuff like Robin Hood or like any other kind of England.
Exactly.
It basically or Oliver Cromwell, who's a cunt, by the way. I don't care what anyone says. These certain figures in British history, and I'm sure it's the same in French history or Spanish history or German history or whatever.
Any rebel in French thing? Maybe you think the Three
Oh
Musketeers.
no, Thomas Robespierre.
Oh yeah, Robespierre. Or the Three Musketeers or stuff like that.
Yeah, D'Artagnan and the boys. And
you were like Robespierre wrote this, and it was kind of a critique of like a totalitarianism.
No, it was Alexander Dumas, wasn't it?
Dumas,
Right.
And so Dumas kind of write this like as a critique of totalitarianism, or like it was same. It was like it was a totalitarian like religious leader,
and he was black. As well, which you got to think about.
The cardinal. Do you know there was those group of soldiers that were fighting against the cardinal. The
Cardinal Richelieu.
Cardinal Richelieu, who was like the direct hand of the king.
Yeah,
and the guys was going against the hand of the king. Like,
and it was a massive cunt as well, wasn't it?
It was a cunt. It was a cunt.
Yeah,
it was a massive cunt. There's a great painting of him, like like is him like in red armor and red cape, Do you know, like, and there's like it's on the arbor, and there's a storm, and you can see like it's looking away, and there's like a battle going on into the distance, like, and it's green, and so like it's a great plenty of.
It wasn't the Battle of Trafalgar because you lost that.
No,
one
it was
part
not
'cause of the-
Trafalgar. That was Napoleon. But like it was like a sea battle. It was like the battle of Nîmes or.
who's it against?
Yeah, it's like probably against England or Spain.
More than likely, there's-
maybe it was like a navy battle. It was a navy battle. Like yeah. This painting is beautiful. Like it's just.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's a spectacular painting.
Yeah.
But
And it's like it's just in the corner, but like it's just popping out because it's red and it's like grey and green, you know, like but just him at the corner of the piece looking away, like
all in purple.
There's
all
no
in like,
red.
Oh right, okay. I thought it was purple, but anyway. But yeah, I've seen the painting actually. It's class painting, but
Maybe it was purple.
I think it was purple because that's the color of the cover of like cardinals in the Catholic Church.
Maybe the no, yeah.
Well, no, you might be right. I don't know.
Right, no, that's in the Protestant church. They're purple. In red, they are like.
Oh, you're right. You're
because
right.
of
Yeah,
the,
because that's the Anglican church I'm thinking of. Yeah, you're
there you
right.
go.
Sorry, dude.
No,
yeah,
it's red. It's red
Yeah.
because the
the blood of Christ or
the
something.
blood of Christ, and also the you know, like the it looked like the Spanish Inquisition. You know, like a red robe and white, red and white. Yeah.
But yeah, but certain. I mean, no matter where you go in the world, there's always going to be there's always going to be certain figures that kind of enter into the mythology of the nation. Do you know what I mean? I think Guy Fawkes wasn't even fucking English; he was Spanish.
Yeah. But like the thing is that he has no statue. He has no. He probably has books or stuff like that. Read about him.
Yeah.
But like it's still remembered today with the 5th of November. Like
Yeah. I mean,
it's about one man. It's not about one man. It's about a group of men.
Yeah.
There's a group of men that basically made history, and every year is being remembered.
yeah. And I think the rest of them got caught and fucking pretty badly taught as well. But Guy Fawkes or Guido Fawkes, he was the one who got caught. And he was
the
one,
example. It was shown as the example.
And the thing is, like, when you make an example of someone in that manner, you end up becoming a martyr for your cause. So, I mean, you could say the same thing happens to Jesus.
He's a martyr, yeah.
Yeah, the same thing happened to Jesus Christ. I mean, like, in the literal sense, like, he was a preacher who basically upset the apple cart in Roman occupied Judea.
He was judged and killed by the Roman.
Yeah.
And where's the Church of the Christ now?
Based in Rome.
In
Yeah,
Rome
exactly.
now. Like, yeah.
But yeah, that's that. Well, the Catholic Church is based in Rome, but the thing is, like, yeah, I mean, certain figures in history become martyrs for their cause, and it's in a way, Guido Fawkes became a martyr for his cause, and I think that's, you know, I mean, that's how. And not only that, over a period of time, obviously, I mean, like 400 plus years, like that cultural significance has grown with time.
Yeah, it didn't get old, or it didn't get, lose the meaning.
Yeah, I mean, because we were taught about it in school.
Yeah.
Every time like November used to come around, we'd all find out. We'd all learn about the gunpowder plot.
And basically, that tale and stuff like that, it's a reminder for the government, and a reminder for the they call it the government and the opposite of government, the
Anarchy.
No, it's a reminder for the government and his people that they have the right to say something, and you know what? If they
Stand up against tyranny.
stand up against tyranny.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, that's what I think. I mean, I like. There's obviously like there's a huge like LGBTQ kind of thing with it, especially with Stephen Fry's character. Well, Stephen Fry's gay in real life, but his character was gay, and there's the story of, as we mentioned before, the story of Valerie, and you know how she was oppressed because of the people she loved. You know, there's talk about oppression.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And how people are oppressed, like
because of their religion, because where they come from as well. Like, yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is also another thing that was mentioned, because Stephen Fry's character had a copy of the Quran.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, he was supposed to be just a jail or because he had the copy of the Quran.
Yeah.
He was killed immediately.
Yeah, he was executed.
Yeah.
As a result of it. And the one thing I really quite like, especially, you know, at the end, right, when the fireworks eventually go off and everyone starts taking off the hoods, you see all those characters.
You see the girl that died, and you see that was the last people.
Yeah.
But those are dead.
Yeah, they're dead.
You see also you see Valerie as well.
Yeah, you do.
You see
yeah.
the girl. You see the man. What's his name again? Stephen Fry, and then you see the two girls. Like,
yeah,
you see the Valerie and the girlfriend.
And you see the little girl who got shot by the police officer.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, there's. I mean, I like that. That was a nice little touch.
It's just at the end, like, you know, like, yeah, they are here too.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, deep deep down there here as well. Like,
I mean, I think this film actually really kind of works because, all right, you might look. I'm sure there's people out there who think, oh, you know,
the show is silly.
There is silliness in it. You can pick holes in it, but I think it does. I think if you want to, I think it's really it's effective in like in a very mainstream way in terms of delivering its message. And I think this is probably the last great film the Wachowskis were involved with.
Do you mean dumbify a little bit?
Well, I wouldn't say dumbify. I mean,
Simplified.
Simplify. Yeah, I mean, again, from the original source material, it had to slim it down. It had to cut things out. It had to kind of streamline. But also, like, I think it does a very good job in like conveying the importance of, you know, people against oppression, people, because especially when you think about it, right? Because unfortunately, right now, with everything that's going on in, say, Ukraine, everything that's going on with in the Middle East at the moment, with we're shooting this about
Palestine
2 weeks,
and Israel,
yeah, it's just like with all these like horrific things going on in the world. Do you know what I mean? I think the one thing I will say though, right, when it comes down to, I mean, art has different kind of responsibilities within culture. Sometimes it's just there to look pretty, right, or to sound, if it's music, to sound beautiful. I mean, the one thing like they use the 1812 overture
with the cannons.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but that's the thing. Like when it comes to music, music stirs emotion. It stirs feelings, both of love, of pride, of triumph, whatever.
You can see that the government, the chancellor, like basically remove all that the music that he judged not be a thing. For example, the first time the explosion came out and this music was played,
this was on the blacklist.
This music is on the blacklist as well.
Yeah.
Or for example, all the art that the guy stolen from the from his from the vault. Basically, they were putting away art. So basically, they would not be there to be inspired. I'm pretty sure they banned like 1,000 books as well, or burn books as well. Like
they suppress culture.
They suppress culture,
and that's the thing. I mean, but that's the thing. This is why art is so powerful, because it says that within the film. It's within the subtext of the film. Like art is incredibly important in terms of delivering the message, in terms of communication.
You basically, when you create art, you lie to tell the truth.
That's right.
You lie to tell the truth, and
politicians use lies to hide the truth.
Artists use lie to tell the truth.
Yeah.
And politicians use lie to hide the truth.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, look at it this way. What is fiction, right? What is like Lord of the Rings is basically someone lying. If you look at it like that way, it's Tolkien telling a story
that never happened.
It never happened. So technically, it's a lie.
It's a lie.
But
like every fiction is a lie.
Exactly. Like, but the thing is, but the thing is like this important. But the thing is within art, irrespective of art form, right? Whether it's books, whether it's movies, music, art, whatever. Like there's certain responsibilities that art has within culture, right? So that's sometimes again it's to sound pretty or to stir or evoke an emotion within you, but sometimes it's about like for instance like Picasso's Guernica is probably a good example, where he was talking about the Spanish Civil War, right? Or you could turn around and talk about like when we watched All Quiet on the Western Front.
Yes,
like we're talking about how war is horrific and costly and pointless, and like with V for Vendetta, I think there's loads of little interesting messages within the subtext of the film, like how the importance of art, the importance of culture. Because if you're in a totalitarian state, art and culture are subdued. They're oppressed. Like because if you subdue art, you subdue ideas. And again, we'll talk about how you can't kill an idea, but if you want to suppress ideas, if you want to suppress creativity in thought, or creativity in culture, the best way to do that is to kneecap it completely. And it's what the Soviet
rewrite history.
It's like, for instance, like an example would be in a movie we watched recently, although we both fucking hated it, was Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Right? What better way to make a film make 14-year-olds want to watch it is by banning it. Do you know what I mean?
What do you mean by banging it?
Banning.
Banning it.
Yeah, banning.
Yeah, the fact that it was banned give basically is publicity to the movie.
Yeah, it gave it more. It basically it made it. Oh yeah, well, I already want to watch this
The
movie.
more,
It's
the
been
more you
banned.
try, the more you try to oppress something and make it disappear, the more it sticks out.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I mean, like, so I mean, I like that. I like the film that actually tries to talk about that, and it talks about how art is important in terms.
Also, like it does go to the thing of the movie, the theme of the movie as well. The government is trying to hide it as much as possible. They try to hide V. They try to say, "Oh, he's dead. It doesn't exist," or something.
Actually,
like
there's something that I saw recently that's kind of pertinent to what's going on in Palestine and between Palestine and Israel at the moment. Is that there was this little this kid? I think he was about 12 years old, right? And he was doing his raps about his life in Palestine in the Gaza Strip. And he's walking out. He's doing these little raps about his family and everything else, and they're fucking good actually. They're proper. They're proper decent raps. And he's walking up. He's walking across rubble. Do you know what I mean? He's like these bombed out fucking environments that he's growing up in.
That was not even today. That was like
it was probably about a year ago or something like that.
Yeah.
But this has been ongoing, and look, no one's.
it didn't start. It didn't start this year.
No,
it didn't start this year.
This started years and years and years ago. Right, this started basically like after the Second World War. You had the Zionist movement. A lot of Jewish people were basically like shipped off over to Israel. They were given all the support they want from like the UK and America especially, and because this is the death of the British Empire as well. So all of it kind of ties in. But they created the state of Israel as the modern state of Israel as we know it now.
And there's been conflict since.
Because basically what's happened is like, because from the Palestinian point of view, this is our land. You're occupying it, and you're occupying more and more and more of our land. And look, I'm not in any way going to justify the actions of certain of those lads who from a couple of weeks ago. I'm not going to do that at all. But when you're put
back to the wall.
When your back's put to the wall, I mean, like for instance, like I come. Although I'm technically English. My parents are Irish, and I'm very acutely aware, especially at the time where I grew up, about what was going on in Northern Ireland and everything else, like all the tragedies and travesties that happened during that period. You know, you could turn around and say, yeah, it's all the fault of the British government. Well, yeah, it is. Bloody Sunday.
Like, after the, I don't want to say that in the camera, but like Hamas is being called a terrorist, but like Sinn Féin.
Sinn Féin.
Sinn Féin was called a terrorist as well.
No, to clarify, Sinn Féin were at the time seen as the political arm of the IRA.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know what would be. I don't know what would be.
It was like it would be like a kind of like a civil military group, like basically.
No. Okay.
Anyway.
I think like.
That's why I don't want to talk about that. Really,
let me just clarify though, from my own understanding of it. Basically, what it was, Sinn Féin. Now they're a major political party in Ireland at the moment, both north and south. But at the time, they had they reportedly, allegedly, had links with the IRA, and this has always been refuted. So I'm not going to turn around and say definitely one way or the other.
I was confusing the IRA with something else. Sorry.
Yeah. But I just wanted to clarify because
anyway.
just to make it clear. But yeah, in terms of like, everything that's going on in the world, but getting back to the point of like what the movie does very well, it shows like how important art is, because art is very fucking important. Like in terms of conveying a message, in terms of conveying an ideal, or in terms of communicating rebellion or
it's the best of weapon, because it's a weapon that doesn't kill anybody. Well,
yeah.
Some people get killed, of course, but like.
Well, the thing is, like, I don't know. I mean, like. I think what you got better, especially during. I mean, I'm not 100% sure on this because my knowledge of like the pre-Soviet era is pretty foggy, to say the very least. But from what I understand, there was a lot of cultural oppression that went on in Russia during the Bolshevik movement, and a lot of artists were fucking sent off to the gulags because if they tried to say anything against, like, whether it's Lenin, whether it's Stalin, whether it's Khrushchev, or whoever else,
they're talking like, I live a sad life or stuff like that. If they were singing about their condition, they'd be sent to the gulag.
Yeah, exactly. If it was anything that was, if they were saying anything counter to what the propaganda department was saying, off to the gulag with you.
Yeah, they couldn't complain that the regime was bad.
No,
they could only sing that the regime was great and everything is great.
The glorious Soviet people movement, God bless Lenin and Marx and yada yada yada, you know, all that sort of crap.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I mean, great art. Like, artists can also be like at the forefront of any kind of like oppressive regime, because they'll be because they're the people that are usually the voices that go against the regime.
Yeah.
Right, and they'd usually be the first people to be silenced. Do you know what I mean?
The artist, yeah.
Yeah, the artists will be for the first people to be silenced. So this is the thing. Like, art is incredibly important.
Writers, painters,
musicians. Yeah.
The first people to be silent.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. That's what's important, because like this is what I love about the American whole the First Amendment, like the freedom of speech thing that the Americans have. I think that's fucking wonderful, because it doesn't matter. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, you can say whatever the fuck you want. Like, there are some people who use the First Amendment to say some utterly retarded shit, but you know, and stuff that I vehemently disagree with. But the fact is, like, they should be allowed to say whatever within reason. As long they use the caveats, as long as you don't like incite violence. So freedom of speech doesn't mean go over and beat the fuck. Like, hey mate, do me a favor, go and beat him up. That's not freedom of speech. Or shouting fire in was it the common you use for the is shouting fire in a crowded environment, causing panic. Do you know what I mean? Stuff like that. But yeah, you could turn around and say, I think the government are a bunch of fucking idiots.
That's freedom of speech.
Yeah, that's freedom of speech. I mean, and it's in the First Amendment. No one can fucking, you know, you could dislike what someone, but in Britain, like a notable case that happened recently was with the YouTuber Count Dankula. Like, I don't agree with some of his political views, but do I think what happened to him was fucking stupid? Absolutely, I do. Do you know what I mean? Because, like, you know, he's got his pug to do a Nazi salute to annoy his girlfriend for a joke, and that somehow became a massive thing. I think that's silly. Do you know what I mean? It's like, context is important. You know, he was trying to tell a joke. He was trying to annoy his girlfriend. That's all it came down to. But it just somehow became this whole fucking political thing. You know, which I think is a bit silly. But, you know, I think freedom of speech is important. I think freedom of speech is a great ideal to have, and I think, you know, more Western countries should like take that on board. Like, this whole thing about causing offence, I think is a bit silly.
Offence are taken, not given.
Exactly. Like, someone can say something to piss me off.
So, yeah, you can say something about French people or stuff like that. But
Yeah, or you could turn around and say, "You big fat twat, John." Do you know what I mean? So yeah,
no, don't say that. I think it, but I don't think.
God bless. But yeah, we could say things to insult each other. All right, but
then if you take it, you get insulted.
Yeah.
If you take it, if you choose too hard to, like, if you choose to be offended, that's why it's an insult.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just a funny joke, like. You know?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, again, context is always important.
Yeah,
I mean, don't get me wrong. You shouldn't go around calling people names and being a dick. But
no.
But
really
also,
don't know, like, yeah.
But also, another thing about freedom of speech doesn't mean you've got freedom from consequence. If you turn around and say to someone, right, I think you're a cunt, and they turn around and punch you in the mouth for it, do you know what I mean? Like, you're not just because you got the freedom of speech doesn't mean you're absolved of any consequences of your speech.
Of your act.
Yeah, if someone punches you in the mouth,
like, freedom of speech doesn't mean like you can say everything or do everything you want.
No, what it is, I think the idea behind it is so there isn't any political idea that's silenced, even though during the McCarthy era,
that's what freedom of speech means.
Yeah. That
you can say anything about the government that's around you. That's what it's about.
Yeah, well, basically, it's so like basically, I think it was just the free and open exchange of ideas
and disagreement, or something. Like.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, for instance, there's a famous I think it's in Hyde Park in London, where it's called Soapbox Corner, and people get up there and they have discussions and debates about stuff. So, like, someone might get up there and then, like, a Jew and a Muslim might have a disagreement about, you know, scripture or something like that, or they might have a disagreement about what's going on in Israel.
But I think in America, like, go on.
No, so go on.
Go on. What you were saying about
I said what I was saying.
Okay, but like, I think in America, it's like they don't understand that freedom of speech is like, I'm the right to say what I want to say, and, you know, freedom of speech is like, I'm the right to disagree with what you said.
Yeah.
I'm the right to disagree with what the president said. I'm the right to disagree with the government action.
Yeah.
I have the right to disagree.
Yeah.
And I think that's what people think. I think people think freedom of speech as imposing your speech. It's not.
No.
So, like, I just don't agree with what you're saying.
Yeah. I think that's absolutely fair. I think
we forgot that a little bit, like, you know.
Well, I don't know. I think there's. I don't know, man. I just think that again, art is important, conversation is important. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't agree with the idea of going around calling someone a dickhead, or if they don't warrant. Although I do use that insult quite a lot.
As friendly.
Yeah, but I will turn around. Look, if I think someone's being a dick, I'll tell them they're being a dick. But if I'm being a dick, I'm expecting someone's going to turn around and tell me, "Oh, John, you're a dick."
And you're pretty colourful character. You're a pretty colourful character.
Vulgar could also be used as an adjective.
Colourful. You're very colourful.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think
Yeah.
I think it's I don't know. I think conversation is important.
It's not insult, it's punctuation. It's not swearing, it's punctuation.
No, I don't know. I mean, I don't understand why like F-bombs are so offensive to people. To be perfectly honest, but I don't know. I just think that discussion is important. I like the idea of the First Amendment. I've got I'm a bit of an Americanophile. I always have been.
America, fuck yeah.
I won't go that far. Don't get me wrong. Like there's some certain things about America that fucking make me absolutely scratch my head. Like the whole political culture over there is just so adversarial and silly. It's just so unnecessary. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like in terms of like
the freedom of market as well, like
well, the thing is, like the free market, I don't necessarily think in of itself it's a great idea in principle, but it doesn't. What the hand of the free market is used as long as companies, like the big problem with companies is they're profit driven. It's also one of the key benefits.
They're profit driven.
Yeah. It's like big companies want growth. They want to make more products and blah, 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 blah. But also...
And everybody's happy.
Yeah. But also they will cut corners and they will destroy the environment all in the name of saving a buck.
That's what nobody wants.
Exactly. This is the problem. This is why... The thing is like...
Can they do one without doing the other?
Yeah. I mean,
they could.
But things like the government should be there as a check and a balance against like
against that.
Yeah, but
you can make a profit, you can make a good business, but stop trying to cut corners and fucked everything up.
Yeah, but that doesn't always happen because people because the problem with stocks and fucking quarterly reports and all this sort of stuff. There's two ways to, you either make more profits or you cut costs, and sometimes cutting costs means like. Doing some pretty shady shit.
Yeah.
Politics is supposed to be there as a way as a bulwark against the excess of corporations. The problem is, politics is run by politicians, and politicians generally are fucking corrupt.
No, they are like money driven.
Yeah.
They are power driven.
Yeah, they're power driven. But the thing is, like, they come along, right? A corporation will come along, like lobbyists will come along. Give them a brown envelope and say, do us a favour. Like, because it happened in the UK, the cash for questions scandal going back fucking 20, 30 years ago. Like, there was all kinds of scandals where companies would come along, they'd fucking pay they pay ministers to ask questions during Prime Minister's questions and shit like that. There's all kinds of shady shit that goes on within politics. So, you can't rely on politicians, you can't rely on corporations. So, I don't think I don't think big government works. I don't think small government works. I don't think the market works. I think we're kind of like, we're still trying to find a way that works. I don't think we've got there yet. And we probably won't. But, I'm hopeful that we will.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I was going to say, I'm an anarchist myself. I mean, what it could be like? I'm a functioning anarchist, or
functioning anarchist,
or I'm I don't know,
I'm an old school fucking lefty. I'm an old school socialist.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I believe in fucking, national health. I believe in free education for all. I believe in workers' rights. I believe in unionisation. All that sort of stuff. I'm all for it. Do you know what I mean? I think it's important. People power. Fuck the government.
I'll be the same as well a little bit.
Fuck the Tories.
Sometimes I can go be the extreme as well. It doesn't seem like very extreme. Sometimes you have to touch the bottom to go up.
Yeah, but also I don't believe in communism because communism doesn't fucking. I don't believe in a completely state-driven economy because state-driven
state is corruption.
Well, it's not even that. It's just like look. If you look at any state-driven economy, right, they'll turn around and say, right, we need more food. But what are they going to do? They'll say, all right, we'll give more people farms who don't know how to farm, and they'll take the farmers who do know how to farm. They'll fucking sling them in the gulags.
That's the USSR.
Yeah, exactly. That's what the Soviets did. The Soviet system was stupid.
What
And the Chinese
China
did,
did,
the Great Leap Forward. Look, Great Leap Forward. Great Leap Forward, inverted fucking commas.
Kill all the farmers.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
Landowner.
Yeah, and starve you fucking people and kill about, what, 50 million people?
The march forward.
Jesus Christ. So, yeah, that doesn't work either. But I do believe that, there should be a counterbalance to companies. And but also I believe that companies are needed because, we wouldn't have YouTube, a platform that we're currently using. We wouldn't have Rode who make the microphones, or Apple who make the camera and my iPad and other bits and pieces.
Bits and bobs.
Exactly, all the stuff that we need to kind of do what we're doing. All that kind of stuff is important too. So I don't know. I mean, there has to be a happy medium that we can eventually come to. Who knows?
Sometimes we're not reaching it, or maybe we never reach it. This happy medium is maybe we're never happy of that, because maybe the fact that we're not happy of it is maybe we are in the happy medium.
Well, I think, to be honest with you,
like the in the medium thing.
Well, I think, to be honest with you, one thing I've learned recently when it comes to my art, I'm an artist, by the way. I don't know if you know, but the thing I've to learn, and I'm still trying to learn this, and it's something I've got to do with my physical health as well. I need to lose a shit ton of weight. It's about enjoying the process. Like, for instance, enjoying going to the gym. It's not about, okay, I need to lose weight.
I have to do this.
Oh God, I need to lose weight. I've got to go to the gym. It's about,
you have to find enjoyment into
it.
it.
You got to find enjoyment in the process, or you got to find you got to find meaning in the process, not just in the end result. So when it comes to my artwork, it's like finding meaning in the process of creating the work, not just the finished work itself. And I think the same applies.
You don't start the work to finish it.
Well, yeah, you do. I mean, it's about, but you need to enjoy the process. You need to enjoy the kind of tedium. You need to enjoy the kind of more boring aspects of creativity, because creativity sometimes is fucking boring and tedious. So you got to really enjoy it. You got to kind of like be one with that idea. And I think the same applies to like social movements or social change or types of governments or anything like that. I don't think it's ever going to be static, because like, we have to find, if we do find a way, we're still going to have to find ways to develop upon it. I mean, we have found ways to do it, but they still need a lot of work. And, it's a bit like kind of getting the social good and getting the individual good is a bit like fucking putting quantum physics and fucking theory of relativity and trying to make that fucking work. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Which apparently physicists have a lot of trouble with. I wouldn't know. I'm not a physicist, but I've heard such.
Can I say we went pretty far?
Huh?
We're here to talk about Vendetta. We're talking about physicists.
That's all right. It's conversation, and art inspires conversation.
I wanted to go back to the.
Yeah, let's go back to the movie. Let's go back to the movie. Go
on. I like the movie because he do something that I didn't see the first time, but it happens again. There's a lot of callbacks. So like a lot of you see a scene, and that scene replayed later differently.
Yeah, there is a lot.
For example, there is the scene when she wakes up and she hear the music. And he's there waiting at the jukebox.
Yeah.
And later, Vendetta doesn't sleep, so he's just like next to his bed, like this, waiting. And then he hear the music, and you see her waiting at the jukebox. You're see. Also, like the Natalie Portman character become V. She went through the same thing that he did. Like, it's just like she went down to the thing to see the flashbacks.
He created.
It's a negative hardcore. It's not negative V. But like you have the male V. It's about like destruction and fire, destruction and vengeance. Yeah. Destruction and vengeance.
Yeah. Well, Vendetta, the closing
Vendetta. And female V, Eva, who was just born from this, and it's more about like hope and strength and hope, like
by the end of it,
she's there. She's born into the water, is born into the fire.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
She's born from water. She's born from water, and he's born from water. He's born from like concrete and like made element, fire, like. Yeah. And she's born into like rain and thunder, like.
Yes.
So like she's like he realized he created something more stronger than him, because him was prone to anger, he was prone to violence, and she was not. She was fearless. Also, she was fearless.
Yes.
She became fearless.
Yeah,
there's so much, and also like the thing when she tell the flashback of a mother going to her room and say like get out into the bed, and the friend as well doing exactly the thing. Like I see the Natalie Portman thing. Like she's great in that moment. She starts to be like she's very great in that moment. Like you see the PTSD thing. It's happened to me again. Like
Yeah.
See it to her happening again. You see the thing from the same point of view that she exactly the same camera thing.
Yeah.
Like it's a little girl in the bed. It happened again with
Or she was an adult with her friends. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stephen Fry's character.
Yeah,
you're right.
A lot of callback to other scenes, like.
And also, one thing I did also notice was, and I only noticed this, I think, after a couple of viewings. Do you know when the entire like Inquisition scene that Natalie Portman has to go through, right? Notice that
the street.
well, you find that it's V anyway, but if you actually watch it, the clues are always there because he's always wearing those same black gloves.
Oh yes, when he's the interrogation thing.
Yeah,
he's wearing the black glove.
Yeah, he's always
and
wearing
his
black
face
glove.
is never revealed.
Yeah, so like it almost warrants a second viewing. Do you know what I mean? It's a very good film.
I think
like
you don't
that.
see it because you focus too much on Natalie Portman and what she's going through, and you don't focus on what's going on.
Yeah, true. I mean, I think
You
you're kind of caught up in the drama.
You
of
never
it.
focus on something that's not there, and his face was not there.
Yeah.
So like you don't focus on that because it's not there.
Yeah, yeah. It's basically everything's in silhouette. Everything's in black. But yeah, I quite like that. I think that there was a lot of care put into this film.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There was a lot of care put into it. There was a lot of they really thought about like certain how one scene kind of relates to another, and like I said with the callbacks, and that really kind of astute observation of yours about she was born into water and rain and thunder, and he was born into fire.
Like fire, concrete, like concrete and fire. Like, yeah.
So like that kind of like that kind of really interesting juxtaposition between the two characters, although they've gone through a similar process, the end result for both of them is very different. And you know, and it can
be also be taking like the end of the patriarchy, the end of the maybe I'm going a bit far with that, but like the end of the power and the order, like, and it's more like the era of compassion and like understanding, like the washer, like like.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, yeah, I think another thing with art, I say this with both my own work and like when I look at other people's work or whatever else, sometimes you'll extrapolate something from it that the artist doesn't necessarily intend to communicate.
Sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, you will find that's what's wonderful about it. You'll find your own meaning in art. Do you know what I mean? And I think it's really I think this film does a lot of things really well. I mean, like you can pick up. We picked one big fucking plot hole about it. With the fact that he had this entire fucking like set up already.
Also that she keep her hair shaved because it's been 304. Like when she got out of the thing, it's been 350 days before the new 5th of November.
Yeah,
and basically she keep the head shaved. It's not like her hair like grew very slowly. Or it just happened like it was basically the last time she saw V was half a year later. Half a year later,
So about 180 days,
yeah. And basically, I think that the old beginning scene started like played in November. Like it was the 5th, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th. It's all November, and then when she went to the jail thing, she just like. Go back to the thing, and then there's like I don't know, like the time dilation. I don't know what the time works in this movie, but when she's come back, she still had the head shaved. But that's a mask now. That's a V.
Yeah, that's her identity.
That's her identity. Like that's how she was born. That's how she was reborn as.
Yeah,
and that's how she's going to be. And that's like the character of V is born into like this red flesh thing.
He was burned.
Pain. He's burned from pain. Like yeah.
So like I think there's I mean, and not only that, the ending's fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
I love the ending. It makes the house's apartment blows up. Everyone
same
pulls
music from the beginning.
Yeah, the 1812.
Do you like music? Is she bring the commissar like so like when the train goes and they're both the chief inspector and her is like, do you like music? It's like the same.
Yeah.
She served the same line as V's did to her. Like, say, do you like music? Like,
and then the 1812 overture. Sorry.
There you go.
But I think. Yeah, I actually really fucking like this movie. I really fucking do. I think it's really good. I would heartily recommend it to anyone who hasn't seen it.
Yeah.
But also another thing you got to remember is, and this is definitely pertinent to this film, right? You got to think about the iconography that lives on through this film.
Yeah, the mask.
Yeah, like the Anonymous movement.
Yeah, the anonymous.
Like they
yeah.
adopted the Guy Fawkes mask. This film is, although it didn't do okay, because I know I usually
It was starting like a geek thing, like like I took the mask of V for Vendetta because I love the movie and stuff like that. No, it became like something entirely like
yeah. I mean, the thing is, this film. It didn't. It was a success. It made its money back. I mean, it was made for $54 million.
Yeah.
And worldwide, it $132 million, which is all right.
Yeah.
Done all right. But also, I think the cultural significance of this movie is far outweighs its actual box office. Do you know what I mean? Because I was one of those ones who actually contributed to that worldwide take because I did see it at the cinema. But also, I bought it on Blu-ray, I bought it on DVD, I read the comic books, and other people have taken the iconography and moved forward with it and given it an entirely new dimension, because when you think about it, like Anonymous, they're an anarchist fucking movement.
Oh, they are.
Do you know what I mean? So they've through the movie, right? The movie inspired their anarchism,
Yeah.
right? From an old anarchist in Alan Moore. So, he's kind of, indirectly, from the book to the adaptation to then it's called... Because this is also a great way, because how do I find a lot of literature now? How do most modern people find literature? Through movies.
Yeah.
I read Game of Thrones series after I watched the fucking TV series.
Right.
What else? There's been a few examples of it. Do you know what I mean? V for Vendetta, I read the book after watching... I read the comic book after watching the movie. Do you know what I mean? So, I think art. I mean, not only is it important for art, although adaptations do have their problems, right? But it's also a wonderful way of introducing people to the original story in a different form. Do you know what I mean? Like, how many people watched a vampire movie and then read Bram Stoker's Dracula?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's like really, Yeah, I think
Also, it's a great character. V is a great character.
Yeah, brilliantly played by Hugo Weaving. Hugo Weaving is a hell of an actor.
Yep.
A hell of an actor.
It.
And the fact that they had the balls to keep the fucking mask on.
Voila.
And the fact that he's I love that he's patter when he's just every other word's beginning with V. I love all that. I think he's this cultured, he's this intelligent, very articulate, verbose person who's also
It's playful as well. It's playful. That's why he's so friendly. You look so friendly, and you want to connect with him,
Yeah, the fact that when the following morning when Natalie Portman's character comes out, he makes her eggs.
Yeah, no, with his very cute little apron.
I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah,
he's a brilliant. I mean, Hugo Weaving absolutely playing the blind, and the fact that his performance shows so well, in spite of the fact that his face is never ever fully shown on celluloid in this movie, I think. Oh, mate. Tip my fucking
the guy
cap
carrying
to
the
you,
movie,
Sunshine.
even though we don't see his face.
Yeah, tip my cap to you, Sunshine. Tip my cap.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right, and where are we at now?
I don't know where we are at.
Because it is quite
17 minutes.
Okay. I mean,
we went a lot about politics, and I don't feel very great talking about that subject of Palestine and Israel, or Israel and Palestine. I don't know.
Well, to be honest with you, I mean,
because it's very heated. There's a lot of it's disgusting, and if I want to say something about it, I don't know if I'm going to talk about that, but I think sad that people are dying because they're in Israel or in Palestine, people are dying because they're not born in the right place.
Yeah, I mean, it's a horribly complex issue.
Yes.
Right. Neither one of us are qualified enough to talk about it.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
But I think the important point I think I wanted to make was with all of it was that in the world that we live in today, with everything that's going on, whether it's Israel and Palestine, whether it's Russia and Ukraine, whether it's the armed build-up around China...
Or Taiwan and China.
China and
or
Taiwan.
North Korea and South Korea.
Yeah, there's...
Or what's happening in Central Africa as well, for years happened. It didn't stop happening, it's still happening right now.
All the coup d'etats that are going on in North Africa and everything else. There's the world at the moment, right? I don't think there has been times throughout my, because I'm a bit older
I don't
than
think
you.
it was always stable.
No, it's never been. It's been more stable. There's always been shit going on, but it feels right now, and I think maybe it's because of the amount of press that it's getting. Maybe it's the kind of the what's the right word? The tone of the discussion around these issues.
Yeah.
Like it's very kind of, it's very polarizing.
Yeah.
Right. And do either of us, or neither one of us are qualified enough to talk about these issues in detail. We can, I do think it's important to kind of mention it in terms of like in the subject matter
of the V for Vendetta.
Yeah, because V for Vendetta, like I said, is a film about going up against the government.
It's a conflict. It's a conflict of It's about it's a movie about creating a conflict with the government. Like go against something.
Yeah, going against an oppressive regime, going against like oppressive ideals, and like say for
even though the movie like shows something extremely oppressive, like the British government in V for Vendetta is not redeemable. It's like evil incarnate,
Oh yeah, it's very extreme. It's a very extreme example. I mean,
it's extremely extreme,
yeah. But at the same time, these things actually did go on in the world. You look at what's going on in North Korea. These can't sound like fucking cartoon villains until you realise. Wait a minute, there's actually people living and dying under that
Germany
regime.
as well,
during the Nazi period.
V for Vendetta is like the government, the British government. V for Vendetta is like extremely inspired by Nazi Germany.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely takes a lot of inspiration for it, undoubtedly, especially with its iconography, like especially the use of black and red.
Black and red, yeah.
Yeah. So
and
like
marches and
like all of that, definitely. I mean, like the scenes where like Sutler's standing at the fucking podium, like going rah rah rah, and flags waving, and everything else. That is very reminiscent of a Nazi rally. So it definitely uses that style of iconography within the film to kind of illustrate what the type of government that this film is portraying.
And like in the movie, like when the friend of Evie, the friend of Evie did that script last minute of that show, making fun of the
I was seeing price.
And you know what? I'll tell you something. If you think you're living in a democracy, can anybody make fun of your government and live television and being and punished? Like, if they're being punished, are you really living in a democracy?
No, you're not. You're living in a
because if you cannot make fun of it, if you cannot say something against your government, it could be fun or literally make fun of somebody.
Well, it's like, for instance,
make fun of your government.
It's like
if you've been punished for that, like,
well, you could turn around and say like with the analogy you could draw from that is like the court jester. The court jester will take the piss out of the king, and he'll be the only one allowed to take the piss out of the king. It's usually some like fella dressed ridiculously, usually probably a midget or something like that.
Was it like my favorite story of a jester? I don't know what king jester was, but basically he make fun of his queen, of the queen.
Yeah,
and it's like he went too far, and the guy said like, okay, you went too far. I would have to kill you, but you're my best jester. I'll let you choose the way you're gonna die. And the jester say, from old age, please. No, I didn't say that. He was more sophisticated than that. But basically, from old age, please, sir. Here you go.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, you're giving the stick, so yeah, it happens.
But but I think.
Oh no, because he touched the ass of the queen or something like that. He did like smack the ass of the queen or something like that. Yeah. He's like, it cannot be unpunished. Like that's death touching like the sacred like
the sacred
entity,
ass.
the sacred ass of the queen. Like today, let's like from old age, please. You can choose the death from old age.
But yeah, I think I mean, like that's the whole point of satire. I mean, like the one thing the British are supposed to be well known for. I mean, I grew up
satire.
Yeah, I grew up. I mean, I used to watch like Mock the Week all the time, and some of my favourite comedians are like most acerbic people like Jimmy Carr, people like Frankie Boyle. Really like very acerbic, very kind of crude, but really intelligent comedians. Like if you actually sit down and listen to like Frankie Boyle have a conversation, Jimmy Carr have a conversation, you'd never think their stage personas and them as people would be so drastically different. Very thoughtful, very intelligent people. But they're on, especially like early Frankie Boyle, especially back in the old Mock the Week days, the good Mock the Week days. He was just absolutely, he did not give a fuck. And I think, I think if you kind of suppress that, then yeah, you're right. You're not living in a democracy. You're living in a fucking totalitarian state.
No, in a totalitarian, totalitarian regime. Like,
Yeah. I mean, you should be able to take the piss out of government because most people in government are well
and
taking
you know
the
what?
piss out of.
You should take a piece of everything.
I mean, if you look at the British government over the last fucking few years, they deserve the absolute piss ripped out of them. Boris Johnson, Liz Truss, Richie Sunak.
Yeah.
They definitely deserve the piss ripped out of them. I mean, look at it this way: like the British government in V for Vendetta actually seem a bit more fucking. I mean, although they're evil, totalitarian scumbags, they seem better at governing than the fucking lot that's actually there in real life. They're
One is
shambles.
One is a narcissist, do like a maniac who just do like incited to hatred and do like violence, like the television guy.
Who, Boris Johnson?
No, the other one. Oh, I'm talking about the movie.
Oh, Sutler.
Yeah, Sattler. One is like do like a priest, like a pedophile thing.
Yeah.
He went very extreme with the character, like.
Yeah, they're all fucking horrible cunts, without a doubt. They are all horrible people. Another thing that's quite interesting as well is like just having a look at here on Rotten Tomatoes.
The critics didn't really like it.
No, it got
73
fresh,
is nice,
73. Audience score is 90, and
they had a cult following. The movie has a cult following.
Oh, yeah, it has a cult following. I mean, I think it fucking deserves it. I think it's a brilliant movie. Absolutely deserves it. I mean, the critics. I mean, I'm sure there's some critics who probably or a lot more overly intellectualized it, because some people do that because they think some critics are just pretentious snobs. But I love this movie. I think it's bloody brilliant.
Yeah,
myself.
me too.
And the fact that we've been able to have this kind of conversation off the back of it. I know you're a little bit reluctant.
We went a bit too poetic, but it's okay. It's fine. It's okay.
Again, it inspires conversation. This is what great art does.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But
It's
I was like, you're right. We've been talking to something that we don't have. We just have the information that we have been given.
Yeah, this is why I'm not turning around and saying one side's right, one side's wrong.
No, I don't. It's
don't
impossible
know
to
enough.
say. It's impossible to
Exactly.
say.
Or even if I did know enough, I'm not qualified. Even if I did know implicitly what was going on, I don't know enough to say who's right, who's wrong.
But I don't think that some people should suffer from fuck's sake.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, like, what, like I said, great art makes you think about things, right? And it makes you. I mean, I'm not saying like V for Vendetta is great art, but I think art that again, this is art's job. This is art's right. Again, it's to make you feel something. It's to make you think about something. Do you know what I mean? And great art does that.
Yeah.
And I think V for Vendetta, I mean, like, I think it's a really good movie, and it makes people like who wouldn't necessarily think about issues like this. You've got to bear in mind, most people who go to the movies, if they were watching the ad campaign that originally released, the from the trailers and everything else, right, they would necessarily assume, oh, right, this is an action movie. They go down, they sit down, they watch it, and some people might have thought, oh, this is a lot of old bollocks, why am I watching this? But some people might have thought, oh, actually, this is making me think about the world slightly differently. This is making, and this might, like, there's probably a lot of young people when this movie came out. Like, you got to bear in mind, again, 2006. There's probably a lot of people in their late 20s and early 30s. This was a very informative film for them. Made me think about politics, about philosophy, about other things. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? About how ideas are important, how speech is important, how how oppressive regimes are bad, and why they're bad and all that kind of stuff.
Why giving up your liberty for your safety is not the right thing to do.
Exactly. This is like there's a lot of very interesting things that people can extrapolate from this and make them think about. And art does that. Art should be doing that. Do you know what I mean? And again, I'm not turning around and saying we should have a big, deep conversation about, various issues that are going on around the world. I mean, I can understand why you'd be reticent and why other people would be reticent, but I think that's one of the wonderful things about creativity and art, because it inspires conversation. It inspires people to sit down who, for instance, a song that might move two people from the same song might move two different people from two different from two opposing sides of a conflict or an argument.
Anyway, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Anyway, I don't like any groups, or I never dislike anybody. So
You're
like
too
any
nice
groups.
for your own
No,
goddamn
I don't. I
good,
don't
Jay.
describe any groups people. I didn't describe any individual, like no matter like religion, background, stuff like that. But what I dislike is what the government, like some government do or stuff like that. You know.
Well, again, like I mean, yeah, but that's the thing. Art should be making you do that. It should be making you question.
Yeah.
It should be making you feel something. It should be making
And
you
you
feel
should have the
bad
freedom
about
of
something.
speech to say that those things that you don't agree with.
Yeah, or stuff, or like or it's not just about disagreeing. It's about like, if like finding commonality, finding common ground, coming to agreement, coming to compromise.
Talk.
Exactly, conversation. Conversation is incredibly important, and conversation is not debating. I mean, okay, I know I'm
It's
going
like
on.
debating like a scientist, like.
Well, I'm talking. Yeah, you could get two scientists debating about certain subjects.
And they at the end, they're like, yeah, we agree. But we at the end, it's like we might have to do more research, but I agree with what you're saying, like
Yeah,
stuff like
in
that.
principle, I might agree with what you say, but I think, but also, it's like when people have like diametrically opposed ideologies, right? You need to be able to find common ground with people. I mean, if you're not able to, I mean, yeah, common ground and compromise, especially when we've got to live together, because you've got to bear in mind, like, there's 9 billion people living in this fucking planet. Not everyone sees the world in the exact same
And you
way.
don't have to fight everybody.
Well,
You don't have to fight your neighbors. You don't have to. You don't have to do that.
no, but the thing is, like, unfortunately, as a species, because dumb monkey brains, the dumb monkey brains that we have, right? We the fact that we look at our nearest relative, like chimpanzees, they go to war.
But we create so much with with just being together, like.
Yeah, but also you got to bear in mind a lot of the technology we use comes from war, like microphones, computers.
But like I was saying, the fundamentals.
Yeah, but
Like agriculture. We didn't create agriculture for war.
no, but agriculture did inspire. It did lead to war.
Yeah, but like it was
know what I
not meant for war.
No, but I think. Look, I agree with what you're saying.
Or like
like,
music or stuff like that. Those things we created was not made for war. Music was never made for war.
But-
Art was never made for war. either.
Well, not really, no, because like if you think about it, like what would keep if you're sitting on a trireme and you're rowing across the Mediterranean, what would keep everyone on time?
Music, but like that's
Drums. That's a musical instrument. Do you know what I mean? So like, and not only that, like propaganda, uses culture, uses art, uses movies. Like, what was the name of that Nazi film that was very famous? That was kind of parodied in Inglourious Bastards.
The Glory of the Nation.
Glory of the Nation.
It's
Or
the guy basically for like a guy killing like 100 of American 2 hours the movie, like basically.
exactly, yeah,
Yeah.
but.
It was just this guy killing American guy.
Yeah, but I mean, it was you who told me about this. I didn't realize because I haven't seen it. But I remember you telling me like that a lot of like technical innovations that we still use, like crash zooms and stuff like that.
no, like it was developed in Germany
Yeah, exactly.
at that time.
Yeah, so like sometimes, like again, culture was.
It could have been developed later in another country, like or stuff like that. But like that's where it started.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the thing. Unfortunately, look, I think also art. All right, okay. Art art should be making you think, it should be making you feel. But then again, that gets co-opted by propaganda, like like the Nazis, like the Soviets, like even in America and the UK, like the UK, a very famous poster, like not just was it Keep Calm and Carry On. There was another one back in the first world. Lord Kitchener needs you. Like to recruitment campaigns.
Uncle Sam.
Yeah, Uncle Sam, very similar. I think one was based on the other. But there's art is also used in terms of propaganda. Art is also used in terms of conveying like not so healthy messages, like how great Soviet fucking communism is. But yeah, there's all kinds of like art is both a positive and a negative force, and is both intrinsic to us as a society.
It's just human.
Yeah, but it's just us and our dumb monkey brains. Our dumb monkey brains, we fight over shit. Whether it's, fucking grass being grown in a field or whether it's fucking oil being pumped out of a fucking desert somewhere.
And if you don't fight, some people will take it away from you.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you've got to stand and defend yourself. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, conflict is in our nature, unfortunately. Do you know what I mean? But also, so is cooperation. So is like look at it this way. If you look at the space race, like that was I wouldn't say it's necessarily friendly competition, but it was two opposing nations and two opposing ideologies throwing resources behind the space race. Like
It
initially,
was not weapons or stuff like that. It was like, he ended
it
up
was
like,
kind of like, okay, look, we can make better rockets that can. If we can send a man into space, we can send a rocket into New York or into Moscow.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It was also that at the same time.
Exactly. They were saying stuff without saying stuff. It was
Like
also,
the Hubble telescope, like, like, oh, we can take a picture of a guy, a piece of paper from space, like, like.
yeah,
And like, let's turn that, let's turn this fucking super like camera, on the other side, like, like,
yeah. So what's going on in the universe?
In the universe, like, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think we're both capable of incredible feats, but also incredible fucking cruelty. And yeah, I think I don't know. I mean, it's a very kind of like complex conversation to have. It's a fascinating conversation to have, and I think like as long as it's done in good faith and everyone, I think we do it from a point of good faith.
Like I think you have your heart in the right place, like like you don't mean anything bad, except when you talk about Boris Johnson, but like you don't mean
he's a cunt, but yeah,
no, you don't hate like you don't hate your unknown neighbors for no reason, like.
No, I don't
No.
see the point.
You don't see the point.
No, I don't. If I disagree with you about stuff, what I'd like to do is I don't like debate because debate is basically two people shouting at each other.
No,
Do you know what I mean?
to communicate.
Yeah, but I like if
Learn about someone. Learn about why they thinking like that.
yeah, exactly. Like learn about the people. Learn right because
Where they come from. Like where they come from. What happened? What do you listen to? Do you like what? How did you end up having this idea? Or how do you end up like thinking like that?
Yeah.
Like
I
let
think
me learn more about that. Like
yeah, I think you got to come. I think in general, like when it comes down,
how did you end up? Like how do you end up with that rage? How do you end up with that? It's like hatred of us, this or that. Like.
yeah, but also like it's not just the negatives, but it's about the positives. It's like because again, in the main, right? Most people are fucking sound.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
All people want one thing is like to live in peace.
Yeah, or we want
I hope
best.
so.
We want to live in right. Ideally, we all want to live in peace. We all want what's best for our families. We all have like. You'd be amazed about how much common ground everyone can fucking find if we just sit down and just not yell at each other, not debate each other. I'm right, you're wrong. But let's fucking just sit down and have a conversation with each other and have a chat and have a cup of tea and try and get on. Yeah,
biscuits, hot knobs.
Oh, fucking right, hobnobs.
Or like digestive. I prefer digestive than hot knobs.
I like them
That's
both.
a debate. That's a debate right there.
I like them both. I mean, rich teas are a bit pointless. They dunk them in your tea and it just gets soggy.
Lions or berries.
Oh, grey.
Oh, grey. Cool. Or grey.
Oh dear. All right, but okay. I think this film is brilliant.
Yeah, me too.
All right.
I think you should watch it every 5th of November, every year.
Every 5th of November. Make it your yearly. Look, if you're watching Gremlins and fucking like and
Gremlins? Like when do you watch Gremlins?
Christmas.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Absolutely. You got to watch Gremlins every Christmas. You got your Christmas movies.
Forget Die Hard. Die Hard is not. I don't think Die Hard is overrated a little bit. No. Oh yeah, watch Die Hard. It's fine.
Die Hard's fucking brilliant. What are you talking about?
It is.
All right, so look, yeah, watch your Die Hards, watch your Gremlins, watch your fucking like, what was it, the Miracle on Avenue
November,
13?
Like everybody watch the same movie in Christmas. This movie should be watched in
Yeah,
November.
every 5th of November, get yourself like get out the popcorn, stick it on your big screen TV, watch V for Vendetta every 5th of November.
Because you're gonna cry, you're gonna laugh.
Yep.
And it's great. It's a great movie.
And also, I mean, hopefully as well, it will inspire you to read the original by Alan Moore because Alan Moore's a brilliant writer. He's a bit of a curmudgeonly, grumpy old git,
crazy man.
But he's a fascinating person and a brilliant writer. And I wholeheartedly recommend anyone like start with V for Vendetta, get onto Watchmen, get onto League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, get onto any other. He's got a litany of fucking great literature that
Did he direct his own movie as well? No.
I don't think so.
Okay, no idea.
No, he wants nothing to do with the Hollywood system, mate. He hates them.
He has a system.
Yeah, he's like I said, he's an interesting, kooky character, man. But I think he's brilliant.
He's really an anarchist.
Yeah, mate. Fucking, I mean, that man is personification. He's a warlock, and he's an.
What do you mean by warlock?
He's a He's a male witch. A warlock.
Ah, that's why he's a warlock.
He's a warlock, yeah.
Okay.
Calls himself a warlock. He's a fucking character, mate. He's brilliant. I love him.
Okay.
Basically, if he's not already, right, he should be basically one of the national institutions of the UK. He really
he's English.
He's English, yeah.
Okay.
Like, you'll hear him talk. He's got a right fucking... No, he's not Northern. Where is he from? Is that... I don't know. I can't remember exactly where he's from, but he's from somewhere out the country.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, but he's a fascinating dude. He really is. And
Still alive? How old is he?
Oh, he's still alive. He's still kicking, man.
Like 70s, 80s?
Must be, yeah. He's getting on, but he's still around and he's still fucking making noise. And as long as he keeps doing that, mate, I'm here for it.
Until I die.
Absolutely.
Being a pain in the ass until I die.
Why not?
Pain in the ass to to any government.
Oh, he's definitely a pain in the ass to movie studios because he's always giving out about them fuckers, like I do quite a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna give out to them too much about this because I think actually in a lot of ways this is actually a very brave movie for them to release. I think it was, you know,
It was a brave movie to be released. To be fair, like
yeah. I mean,
that's not a movie that was like at the time having a movie that blew up the English Parliament.
Yeah,
It's like there's a scene that they blew up the.
Well, things like it would be, for the Americans, I think they love it because it's like, oh yeah, Tea Party 7076. Woo! Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I think like in the UK, I mean, it might have been a bit for some people, it might have been a bit contentious, especially if you're one of these NIMBY fucking Tory dickheads. But so I don't get on with everybody. Oh god, I hate the Tory party. I really fucking do.
It's okay, it's fine.
Because they're just.
That's okay. Don't worry. Don't think about it.
Couldn't run a fucking bath, them wankers. But
it does sound like you hate everybody, but that you do not.
No, I don't hate Tory voters. I don't understand why they vote for the fuckers, but I don't hate the people who vote for them. I just don't like the politicians that run their party. I think they're fucking absolute cunts, and they always have been cunts. Myself. So,
it's okay. It's fine.
I do get on my soapbox every now and again. I really fucking do. But yeah, I mean, I think it was a very brave film to release. I think it's. I think it was probably the last good film that the Wachowskis were involved with.
Okay.
Because
that's sad.
Which I think, yeah, is sad. I mean, what was that? Jupiter Rising or something they released a few years ago. And then they
go to the IMDb.
Oh yeah, 1 second. Let's have a look.
See what they released.
Let's have a look. All right, okay. Was it Lana Wachowski or Lily Wachowski? Because one of the Wachowskis wasn't involved in a lot. I think, yeah, Lana Wachowski. She did Bound, Cloud Atlas. I thought, okay, I haven't seen that. Bound, The Matrix, obviously, and there's a load of it. Hold on a second. Jupiter Ascending. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
As the Wachowskis. Cloud Atlas, Enter the Matrix, Speed Racer. Oh, Speed Racer. Yeah, that's a weird film.
Yeah, it's from the anime.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and obviously you had like, was it the Matrix? What was the recent one that came out that absolutely everybody hated? I haven't seen it yet.
Enter the Matrix.
No,
Matrix Resurrection.
Resurrections, yeah. Its average rating on IMDb is 5.7. So you know what? I reckon at some point we're gonna have to watch that.
Yeah, I guess we have to.
Yeah, just see how bad it is. I just want to see how bad it is. Is it really as bad as everyone says?
I love Keanu Reeves. Everybody loves Keanu Reeves.
Well, yeah. I mean, look at this way. I mean, like we watched all full John Wick movies. I mean, I think Keanu Reeves is fucking cracking.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
He's a good lad. Not only that, he's an absolute good lad. All in all, from what I understand.
I hope he's a good lad in real life as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because from what we can see, from what we've been given, he looked very cool.
Yeah, he seems like an absolute fucking sweetheart. Do you know what I mean? When he bought, you know, at the end of Matrix, he went out and bought motorcycles for the entirety.
I hope so.
The stunt team. Yeah, legend. Absolute legend.
I think they have the way. They has the money to do it. Like.
Well, yeah, I know, but I mean, most movie stars, you know, you don't imagine that they'll be that extravagantly generous.
But like, you know, sometimes you know, there's like people who do like too good, like they do good things to be seen as good. You know, like.
I don't think.
But I don't think. I think it might be genuine.
No, I think it is genuine with him. I really do. I think, like I said, by all accounts, stand-up geezer. I mean, how many movie stars do you know will travel around on the tube? He does.
Not a lot.
Yeah, I mean, like he'll walk around. It comes across as just a bloke, like a geezer.
Just, like the meme, the sad Keanu Reeves, the brick of cheese on the bench.
Yeah.
It's not funny because he might be going through a lot of shit like in that picture.
No, in fairness though, apparently he has gone through quite a lot of
Yes.
heartbreak in his life. So God bless him. Do you know what I mean?
God bless you. Yeah.
But all right. So right, should we start rounding this out?
Yeah, we should run this up.
Because you look fucking knackered, mate.
I am knackered.
Yeah, because it is getting quite late. It's
I
like
know, yeah.
5 to bloody midnight.
I know.
So anyway, what we'll do first off, right? Just like general feelings about the film. How do you feel?
I think it's a great movie.
Yep. So do I.
And Natalie Portman is Natalie Portman and what's the name of the gentleman again?
Hugo Weaving.
Hugo Weaving carry that movie like brilliantly.
Yeah.
They both. It's the best duo in cinema.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, then what we'll do, we'll wrap this up. But before we go, right? What are we watching next?
What do you want to watch next? We have a choice between Kick-Ass, Constantine, Valeriant. We should have more. We should watch more than that.
Well, this is the November film list.
Fuck.
These are the films for November.
There's only 4 movies.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I mean, how many podcasts do you want to record?
Fuck. What do you want to watch? You should choose.
All right. And, well, to be honest with you, I think we should break it up a little bit. I haven't seen, out of all of the ones that we've got on the list there, the only one I really haven't seen is Valerian. So I wouldn't mind checking out Valerian.
Yeah, Luc Besson, Valiant.
Yeah. I mean, I have very mixed feelings about Luc Besson.
Show me the IMDb of Valiant very quick, if you can, just to see the rating. Should we see the rating now?
No, we'll do that after.
Okay,
We'll do that after.
perfect.
We'll do that
All
after.
Right.
All right, so we're going to watch Valerian next. So next Friday, by all means, if you want to rejoin us then, we'll be watching Valerian
I think it's
next.
2014, 2016 maybe?
We'll have all the relevant
There you
information
go.
next week. I promise you that much.
Luc Besson.
Luc Besson. I mean, Luc Besson is a director I have very mixed feelings about. Lucy
Love and
sucks,
Hate.
by the way.
Love and Hate.
Okay, everyone loves Leon,
Yeah.
but Lucy sucks.
Everybody loved The Fifth Element.
That's a little bit more hit and miss.
Yeah, okay.
I know you do.
I do love it. I watched it a lot when I was a kid.
I don't doubt it. Anyway, we'll wrap it up there then. So that was V for Vendetta. We both really like it. We both can highly recommend it.
We go for another V, actually. It's another V. It's a Valerian.
Well spotted.
Well spotted.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Sarcastic
thank
backpack. Well earned.
Bye-bye.
Anyway. Right, okay, so let's wrap this up then. So yeah, next time out we're going to be watching Valerian, so please join us for that. Anyway, my name's been John Clare.
I've been Roman Bush.
This has been the Post Watch Post Mortem. We thank you very much for spending your time with us today, and we'll see you next time. So
Bye-bye.
bye.
Fuck the government! Ah! Fuck the order! Anarchy! Fuck.